I sense a great disturbance in the force, like a million voices crying out bollocks as one at 2:30. Never bet on early kick-off. Wednesday, accumulator busters. Wednesday welcome tabletop in West Bromwich Albion to Hillsborough for the dinner time kick-off, hoping to get back on track after 4 defeats in the last 5. A couple of changes for Wednesday as they took on West Bromwich Albion. Beadle in goal, back 3 of Palmer, Ehekwe, who comes in for the suspended Bernard, and for Mayo. Midfield 4, Valerie, Charles, Bannon and Johnson. And a change up front, Windass and Kabachi supporting Ike Ugbo at centre forward. As for the visitors, they played a 4-2-3-1 with Palmer in goal, a back 4 of Furlong, Ajayi, Bartley and Hegem, Diakite and Ratchich in the midfield, Ahern, Grant, Swift and Fellows supporting Madger up front. So one enforced change there for Wednesday with Ehekwe coming in for the suspended Bernard and Ugbo coming in up front for Michael Smith. Maybe Danny thinking about getting a bit more pace involved in an on fixture, who knows. Anyway, West Brom, 100% record on the road, tough task for Wednesday, and yet we started ever so well. 5 minutes in, wonderful move down the right hand side from Wednesday, really slick football, results in Valerie putting a cross in. Bannon back to goal, flicks it up, overhead kick, absolutely full of confidence after his recent goal scoring run. And 2 minutes after that, Wednesday take the lead and it's not against the run of play. We work the ball out from the back into Windass, who's running out towards the sort of front at south stand. It's a great goal. All the way from back it's a great goal, but this is the bit that I really loved from this, is that he's got a man closing in him and there's another lad closing down. He's facing that way. It's a fantastic reverse pass right through 2 defenders. Brilliant pass. And then it brings into play something I've talked about before, Liam Palmer. In the last few weeks I've talked about, I think a lot of us have, having that 2-man midfield and it getting overrun a little bit. But what Danny's done to counter that is, without actually putting an extra man in there, by going to this 3 at back, Liam Palmer stepping into there all the time. It's allowing Bannon and Charles to go forward when they can, when we and having that insurance policy in there, but it's also giving us that extra body when we're actually on the ball. In this instance, brilliant reverse pass from Windass, and it's Palmer stepping out of the back into that midfield area, which allows the other 2 to go on. Palmer steps onto it and then sweeps it out left for Barry Bannon, who's in that more advanced position because he knows he's got somebody behind him who feeds Marvin Johnson. I've seen some people say, oh, it's a bit of a lucky goal, it's an own goal. It's not lucky, is it? Because he's done everything right. And I've said this for the last 3 years about Marvin Johnson. He keeps his shots low and hard. Low and hard, takes a deflection. You earn your luck. 1-0 Wednesday. Marvin Johnson, actually, 2 minutes after his goal, does some brilliant defending. And this is something else to talk about all the time. I am old-fashioned, but if you play in the wing-back position or the full-back position, as much as it's good that you've got energy and you can get forward and put crosses in and chip in with the odd goal, your first job is defending. And if you're defending in them wide areas, your main job is to stop crosses into box. Marvin did that brilliantly just after the goal. Their winger had broke down the right-hand side. Didn't chuck himself in, didn't back off, got a good distance, and he just jockeyed him all the way down the line. And in fact, he did such a good job that the kid he jockeyed him all the way back up the line, and he ended up making a pass into somewhere near centre circle. It's absolutely top draw defending. West Brom, I was a little bit surprised with West Brom. I've watched a lot of their highlights in build up to games. You want to know, well, how are these top of league, what they're doing right, you know. And a lot of the clips that I've seen, nearly all their moves start with their goalkeeper either rolling ball out or centre half taking goal kick to keeper and having it back, and that's how they tend to start their moves. And I was a little bit surprised that they tended to be going quite long, I thought, West Brom. The goalkeeper, his floor kicks, he was just arrowing down pitch. A lot of times he got it in his hands as he was either looking for the big throw out wide, or again, that volley down pitch, which was something that I'd not seen from them in the highlights reels that I'd seen. I suspect from that their manager Coburn had probably looked at Wednesday playing the high press this season and thought, well, we'll bypass that. We'll let Wednesday come on to us and squeeze us, and then we'll just go over the top. But as it is, Wednesday weren't particularly pressing today. They weren't squeezing a really high line. They were sort of sitting in and going, yeah, this is us. So when their goalkeeper were taking these long kicks, Wednesday were like, okay, we'll deal with that. You know, Heckway, Firmino, they'll head things all day. And they did, especially in that first half. It sort of played into our hands. Furlong had an header over at bar for them. I think he should have probably done a bit better. That was from a free kick. And they had a couple of little opportunities before the break. There was a chance at edge at box. The ball sort of bobbled up and flicked off its shoulder of our last man. And their lad got in. Beadle came out. Big Starfish save. Did really well there. And I think Madger had a chance of... Their lad got down the right side, cut a ball back. If he swings it first time, I think he has big questions of Beadle. But as it is, he takes a little touch to try and make the space bigger for him to shoot at, make a bigger target for himself. So he takes a little nudge past Heckway. Then Firmino's coming in, so he takes another big touch, and in the end, those two manage to sort of squeeze him out there. But I think if he takes that first time, it asks questions. It's only a minute after that Wednesday doubled the lead, and this is where I'm really pleased with the way that Wednesday found to play in the last few weeks. Despite the fact we only got a point against QPR, but I thought we were worthy of the win. And obviously the absolute daylight robbery at Luton Town last week. What Wednesday have started doing is playing a more mixed game. So the first goal is a fantastic move, pass, it's from the keeper, through the set of halves. I think it's Firmino, out to Windass, into Palmer, Bannon, Johnson. Lovely move, slick passing all the way down the pitch. Fantastic. The second goal, much more old-fashioned. We've had a little bit of possession, but then it comes to Firmino. One look, ping, over the top. Windass has made his run. Deft header over the top at keeper, 2-0 Wednesday. But it's that contrast that I've really liked between the two goals. Now, that is not a route one, that ball from Firmino. A route one to me is when somebody just smash. He's spotted that run. He's had a look and he's picked him out and he's found that area for Windass to attack. And that's fantastic. And I think a lot of modern coaches, it's all get it down, roll it about it back, pass it through like that, and you know, you live by the sword, don't you? But I've really enjoyed Wednesday recently, and it reminds me of an old saying that Paisley had when he was in charge of Liverpool, winning all them European Cups, League titles, one of the most decorated managers in the game. And he famously once said, it's not about a short pass or a long pass, it's about the right pass. And that's what I've really enjoyed about Wednesday the last couple of weeks. We're playing a really mixed game. We're doing whatever is required in that particular moment, and we look so much better for it. Just before half-time, West Brom coming back into the game a little bit, a couple of half chances. The wide areas were where they were most dangerous. A low cross into box, and Firmino did brilliant defending because he was running backwards, waiting momentum, carrying him in. And then he sort of slipped as he was trying to turn, but he managed to just get a toe and nudge it away because that ball was going straight to Marge's feet, and that would have been an absolute tapping. Brilliant defending again. That's that bacon sandwich. Adji has an header just over at bar. He should really do better. He's come up there for a set piece. But overall, other than 2 or 3 breaks, maybe in that 10-minute window before half-time, I thought Wednesday looked value for the lead. Half-time, they brought Alex Mowat on, and the way that he played in second half, I think their manager's probably going to look at himself and think it was an error not to start him because the momentum shifted in second half. Obviously, Wednesday you've got a 2-goal lead, and as much as you want to keep on front foot, a natural sort of instinct kicks in and you can't help and you find yourself dropping off. But part of that has got to, credit to West Brom because they really came at us after break, and a lot of it were down to him. I think the substitution, bringing him on, was the catalyst for them because he's one of them. It's what I call a metronome player. win, give, available, win, give, available, and he just gets them ticking. And I'm really surprised that he didn't start the game, but he was a huge catalyst for their sort of second half turnaround. 57 minutes, they're having a spell of pressure, they break down right hand side. Firmino comes out, their lad does well because he makes it inviting for the challenge. If tackle comes in, takes a booking. Free kick into box, Bartley gets up, heads wide at post. Should probably do better. I think he jumps a little bit too early, if you know what I mean, and he can't get his head round it. He should do better there. And there's just one or two warning signs there for Wednesday to keep an eye on. As West Brom are sort of having ascendancy and start to, at this stage, dominate the ball mode, I think they went up to like 70% possession in second half. Like I said, a lot of it to do with Mowat coming on in midfield area. Wednesday made a change. Loker won for Kabaski. Johnson went to wing back, although at times it more or less ended up as like a 5-4-1 and sometimes a 5-3-2 as they were putting wave and wave of attack on. Get back in game, crossed out right hand side. Their wingers were good. I've got to be that Fellows caused us a lot of problems all afternoon. We dealt with him at main part, stopped a lot of crosses, especially in first half. Johnson. Second half, and it just shows the value of stopping crosses because the first time they really get one in from open play, they score from it. Lad gets to byline, whips it in. Madger, bullet header at back post. Although he were going in all the way. But as it's going in, his mate tries to toe punt it over that line and claim it, the bog line and get. But bullet header from Madger, the back in game. And it gets very nervy then round Hillsborough. It gets very, very quiet, which is something Danny commented on in post-match, that really crowd needed to start lifting Wednesday again when they went that goal behind. They then brought another winger on, a lad called Johnson, down opposite flank. He was another flyer, like to get the ball, try and take his man on, and they were really controlling midfield area and trying to get it wide because obviously they'd had that success with first goal. But Wednesday felt a large part, stood up to it. Valaday, Palmer, they were doing the best to deal with him out there, and Bannon and Charles in front at back four. A really disciplined performance from them. It's hard when you're against it like that, and they were brilliant. And it's tiring that when you're just shuffling across left to right when you're in that little guard in front of your back line. But they did it brilliantly. 80 minutes I thought they were in. A really slick pass, and despite the fact Wednesday had got a back five, their lad defence splitting pass, slide rule pass through defenders. It's the sort of ball that I love to see. Not against us, by the way, I was bricking me send, but lovely ball, you can still appreciate that. Wallace would come on, he got in there, brilliant save from Beadle, but flag had gone up for offside. Never offside in a million years. Never offside in a million years. And for the first time in what feels like about 6 months, Wednesday's had rubber green with a flagging decision. But yeah, we got out of jail there. Of course, within 5 minutes of that, they draw level. It's a long throw into box from a sustained spell of pressure. Smithy does well to get up there and stop their lad getting his head on it because their lad were going up for Glanter across to far stick. Smith got up and beat him, headed it out. Mowat comes in, edge at box. Windass goes to close him down. It's a miss it. He leathers it into the floor. It bounces up. And on the cesspool that is Twitter, I've seen Beadle getting some abuse for that. Ow. He's literally at full stretch, full dive, full arm stretch, and it goes over his hand. It's a fluke bounce that's deflected over him. Reminded me a bit of bloody Peter Shilton against Germany all them years ago. The difference being, that one, the ball went in there that long, Shilton had got time to backpedal. This one's in an absolute instant. Beadle's got no chance with that. Honestly, I won't have any blame attached to him for it at all. What pleased me then is obviously Wednesday's up against it. From half time, the momentum of the game has shifted. West Brom are dominating the ball. They're trying to get at us in wide areas. They're putting delivery into box. They've had a couple of headers. They flash wide. Wednesday are manfully defending. But as I said, dropping off and off and off, which is a real concern then. And it's hard to get out of that mentality once you're in it. We'd not really got an out ball, which was something that was concerning me. But we brought Smith on, we brought Gassama on, and it's those two that, sort of link up for a penalty claim. Smith headed it on, Gassama gets away, goes into the box. Is it a penalty? It would have been an harsh one. Their lad's knee definitely catches back of Gassama's hamstring and nudges him over. And like I said, I've seen plenty of them given. Not for us, you understand, because we never get them, but I've seen plenty of them given against us. But it just showed that Wednesday had got that capability on counter-attack, which is what happens after the goal. West Brom obviously elated, celebrating, and that's the easiest time when you switch off. You're buzzing, you've come back from 2-0 down, you're on it, and you're probably actually thinking, right, let's go and win the game, and that's when you can leave yourself a little bit exposed. And they do. It was brilliant play from Wednesday, and I've heard a lot about Wednesday's mentality in the last couple of weeks. I don't think there is a problem with Wednesday's mentality. I think they've just had some terribly bad luck. We break down left hand side. Windass does well to keep it in, knocks it back to Lowe, and Lowe's took some stick. He's took a lot of stick. He's not had the best start to his Wednesday career, and I think too many people are obsessing about his previous club. It's a fantastic ball for Bannon, because he's not trying to find a man. Usually full-backs, it's a simple, safe pass and try and find a man. He plays it into the space. It's a really, really good pass. It's good vision. Bannon, 34 years old, it's last 5 minutes of game, but he's airing about. He's 100% committed. Bursts into that space, bursts into the attack, crosses it in, and there's Masaba to tap it home. 3-2 for Wednesday. Absolute scenes in there. And he loves a goal in the last 5 minutes, Masaba, doesn't he? So it's 3-2 Wednesday. Is it a fair result? I think on balance at first half and the balance of the second half, probably a draw would have been a fair result. I don't think you could have knocked West Brom if they had, got a 2-2. But delighted for Wednesday, and the performances over the last month, we deserved to win at Luton. That was horrific officiating that's cost us there. I thought we deserved the win against Queen's Park Rangers. And so maybe we have had a little bit of fortune up at last. So what? The performances over the last month have deserved a lot more than they've got. We should be 5 points higher up than we are. So we'll take it. And I think they deserved it overall for the effort they put in, both in an attacking sense in the first half, when they really took it to West Brom, and the second half because they defended absolutely resolutely to a man, from the goalkeeper to the centre forward. So now we've climbed out of the bottom three. Fantastic news. I think we've climbed about 4 places without win. West Brom, for their part, still top of the table, all to play for. Egg with the title, obviously. Terrific result. The man of the match. The man of the match is difficult, and it's difficult for all the right reasons this week. Sometimes you can be looking for a man at match and God, who's played well. But this week, man of the match, so many contenders. I mean, it was a great team performance. I thought Barry Bannon was superb. All over the pitch. What impressed me with Bannon today was that when we were having to do all that defending in the second half, it was really disciplined and organising, and that shuffling across. Charles, I thought was magnificent for such a young lad. He goes around pitch like a colossus. He's going to be some player, him, and it's such a shame that he's a £10 million player, if you know what I mean, because there's no chance that we'll ever be able to afford somebody like him. Perhaps football, the gulf that has taken the game now, an ever widening gulf, that a player like that will only ever be available to us on loan. But he was superb. Heads, tackles, gets around the pitch. He's tough as well. Young lad, he's really tough. He don't get bullied. Used the ball really well. There was a lot of times he's receiving it off at back four yesterday and getting moves going in that vital role in front of back four. So either of them two. But overall, I'm going to give my man of the match to Akinfenwa. He's had a really tough time since he joined club. Obviously got injured. I don't know if it was debut or game after. Horrific injury. He was out for ages. Then he's come back in under Cisco, sort of been asked to play out of position at left back, which I don't think particularly suited him, but he willfully gave it a go, tried his best out there. And now he's come in left side of a back three, and he's had some really good performances. Performed well last week as well. Head things, tackle, block, proper centre half, but he's been using the ball a lot better, which probably highlighted with that pass for the Windass goal, the vital second goal. Brilliant ball forward, exactly into the space that he knew Windass were going to attack. So although they've all had a great game, and Charles I thought was imperious, I am going to give it to Akinfenwa, because the other thing is I'm really, really pleased for that lad, because he's had a tough time since he's been here, and that's two brilliant back-to-back displays. It's one of the funny things, obviously we're all full of euphoria. We've climbed out at bottom three, we've destroyed accumulators up and down the land, beat the top team in the division who'd got an 100% record. So we're all buzzing about that. But of course then news breaks through that sadly a medical emergency away end yesterday, that a West Brom fan sadly lost his life, which really puts it all into perspective really. Obviously thoughts and condolences go to the family of the supporter and to West Bromwich Albion themselves. Sad times, it does make you think. So good result for Wednesday. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy your family. Make the most of it. Cheers.